On June 30th, 1908, in the quiet, remote forests of Siberia, one of the most powerful explosions in recorded history was about to change our understanding of the cosmos forever. This event, now known as the Tunguska Event, remains one of the most intriguing and frightening mysteries of the 20th century. What exactly happened on that fateful morning? And what does it tell us about the hidden dangers lurking in the vastness of space? Let's rewind the clock. In the early morning hours, eyewitnesses scattered across a 1,000-kilometer path reported seeing something extraordinary. A brilliant, blinding fireball streaked across the Siberian sky, described as being as bright as the sun itself. Imagine seeing a second sun suddenly appear, blazing a trail of fire and light. This object wasn't just bright. It was unbelievably fast. Scientists estimate it was traveling at a mind-boggling speed of approximately 45,000 miles per hour. As it hurtled through our atmosphere, the friction and compression heated it to a staggering 25,000 degrees Celsius. That's nearly 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. For the few who saw it, it was a terrifying and beautiful spectacle, a cosmic visitor on a collision course with Earth. But no one could have predicted the sheer scale of the cataclysm that was about to unfold. Then, at precisely 7:14 a.m. local time, something happened that defied belief. About 6 to 10 kilometers above the Earth's surface, the object didn't crash. It exploded. This was no ordinary explosion. It was a catastrophic airburst, an event so powerful it released energy equivalent to an incredible 185 Hiroshima atomic bombs. We're talking about a force somewhere between 10 and 50 megatons of TNT. To put that into perspective, the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated, the Tsar Bomba, was around 50 megatons. This was a natural event with the power of a thermonuclear weapon. The sky ignited in a flash of light, so intense it was seen and felt hundreds of kilometers away. The sound was deafening, a roar that shook the very ground. In a fraction of a second, an invisible shock wave radiated outward from the point of the explosion, carrying with it devastating force. It slammed into the taiga below, and in an instant, over 2,000 square kilometers of pristine Siberian forest was flattened. That's an area larger than most major cities. Over 80 million trees were snapped like twigs, stripped of their branches, and knocked down in a radial pattern, all pointing away from a central point. The blast was so immense that people more than 60 kilometers away were knocked off their feet. Windows in the town of Vanavara, the closest settlement, shattered from the pressure wave. The seismic shock was registered by seismographs all across Europe, and for several nights afterward, the skies over Asia and Europe glowed with an eerie light, bright enough for people in London to read newspapers outside at midnight. When the first scientific expedition, led by Leonid Kulek, finally reached the isolated site in 1927, nearly 2 decades after the event, the scene was still one of utter devastation. The sheer scale of the destruction was shocking. But what they found, or rather, what they didn't find, was even more peculiar. At ground zero, the epicenter of this immense blast, there was no impact crater. A meteor of that size should have left a massive hole in the ground, but there was nothing. Instead, they discovered a strange, butterfly-shaped zone of destruction. In the very center, a few trees were still standing, but they were scorched and completely stripped of their branches, like skeletal telegraph poles pointing to the sky. This was the Forest of Ghosts, a silent testament to the unimaginable heat and pressure from the airburst above. Colleague and subsequent researchers scoured the area for fragments of the object. They found microscopic silicate and magnetite spheres embedded in the soil and tree resin, evidence of extraterrestrial material that had been vaporized in the explosion. These tiny clues confirmed that something from space had indeed caused the event. But the central question remained: what was it? For decades, the leading theory was that a small asteroid, likely made of stone, had entered the atmosphere and exploded before impact. The lack of a crater could be explained if the asteroid disintegrated completely in the air. However, another compelling theory suggests the culprit was not an asteroid, but a comet. Comets are essentially giant snowballs of ice, dust, and frozen gases. A small comet entering the atmosphere would behave very differently from a rocky asteroid. It would heat up rapidly, and its volatile ices would turn to gas, causing a massive, explosive disintegration high in the sky. This would explain the powerful airburst, the lack of a crater, and even the mysterious glowing skies seen across Europe, which could have been caused by ice crystals from the comet's tail being scattered in the upper atmosphere. The debate between asteroid and comet continues to this day, with each theory having its own set of supporting evidence and unanswered questions. The Tunguska Event serves as a stark and powerful reminder of our planet's vulnerability. It was the largest impact event in recorded human history, and it happened in a remote, unpopulated area purely by chance. Had that object arrived just a few hours later, its trajectory would have placed it over densely populated areas of Europe or Asia. The consequences would have been catastrophic beyond imagination, altering the course of human history. Today, scientists around the world monitor the skies for near-Earth objects, developing systems to detect and potentially deflect future threats. The mystery of what happened over Siberia in 1908 is not just a historical puzzle. It's a critical lesson. It shows us that the cosmos is an active and sometimes violent place, and that our world exists in a cosmic shooting gallery. The Tunguska Event remains one of history's greatest cosmic mysteries, a silent warning from the sky that reminds us to keep looking up. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries as fascinating as I did, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the wonders and dangers of our universe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.